Welcome back to our coaching network. I am Pat Curran, excuse me, one of the co-founders here. Today, I usually say tonight, today, Friday afternoon, as we do this live, we are continuing our running back development series. Super excited to have Coach Thomas Ford from Oregon State here tonight. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I really appreciate you having me on, Pat.
Well, really appreciate you. Today we're talking running back Indy progression. Super excited to see this and hear this from you. For those watching live, if you've got any questions, feel free to unmute or throw any questions in the box. Coach, I will let you take it from here. Appreciate you joining us.
All right. No, awesome, man. Again, thanks for having me. I'm super excited. And anyone that's on live, thank you for being here. And anybody that watches this on the recording, I appreciate you taking the time to see what we're doing here at Oregon State. So a couple things. Number one, there'll be a little bit of video from Idaho on here. That was the place that I was before I got to Oregon State. And so I just apologize that it's going to be a little bit of mix of film, but I think that you'll get a lot out of the drill work that we're talking about and the skill building we're trying to do here. So kind of talking first, kind of our philosophy with deliberate practice. You know, for us, we want to try to create as many game-like situations as we possibly can into our individual drills. Okay, and the big thing for us is really making sure that the drills mirror our schemes. And then for me, I really feel this way. You know, general change of direction drills are really good, but we just don't have enough time to work on those type of drills. So I always tell my guys, hey, I'm not saying don't use ladders and cones. I'm just saying we ain't finna use them in practice, man. Those are great off-season drills. Those are great drills to do, you know, on your own. However, we're going to really focus on things that are going to show up on tape. And for us, if it doesn't show up on tape, then we're just not going to do it in Indy. And the big thing being just, it's got to be a drill that translates directly to a skill that you'll see in a team setting or an actual football game on Saturdays. So kind of starting off with just kind of our core fundamentals on how we look at the running back position. Number one thing we really talk about is pre-snap eye discipline. We won't spend a tremendous amount of time on that, obviously, in this presentation, but we'll really focus on the two bullet points that you see below: footwork in the run game and protecting the passer. Okay, kind of specifically in the run game, you know, I say this all the time to my guys, and there'll be a guy that'll argue at a time or two, but there's really only three things you can do when you have the ball. Number one, you can speed cut. And again, you can use that at first, second, third level. You can jump cut, same deal, or you can spin. And so a lot of my guys are like, well, coach, what about stiff arm? I'm like, well, can you stiff arm and speed cut at the same time? Well, yeah. Can you speed cut and jump cut at the same time? Yeah. Well, then it really isn't something that you can do with your feet. It's an auxiliary type move. So we really focus on these three things. And so what I want to do now is kind of start out and just kind of go through some broad strokes. Here are a couple drills that we use that really incorporate a speed cut. And again, I'm just kind of giving you broad strokes here. I'm going to show you just a couple of clips of individual drills, and then we'll get into more scheme specific type individual work. Okay, so this drill we call our Z drill. And really the big emphasis for us, we talk about it in our room and we call it PLC. And I don't mean pad level on contact, I mean pad level on our cuts. So as you see here, this is a clip from my days at Idaho. And we really work on this drill for two reasons. The number one reason is, again, we want to be able to plant our outside foot in the ground, but as we're planting our outside foot, we want our pad level to lower. The way I explain it to my guys is, as you can see here with number 5, as you see when he gets to the cone, his shoulder pads go down and they get square. I want to be in a position that when I'm making a speed cut, that if I was to get hit immediately, I would have a chance to fall forward. So everything that we do when we work on this Z drill is really to emphasize that pad level on cut. And then we're always going to work some type of reaction at the end of the drill. Okay, here's just another drill that we kind of worked on just the other day in practice, working on speed cut. So just kind of getting through the bags. Again, working a little bit of a hurdle at the end here, trying to get those guys to work on getting their feet up. And then again, working a speed cut on the bag. Now, obviously with this drill, you could do a number of things. You could work a speed cut here. You could work a jump cut here. You could work a spin. And the real reason that I like to work all three is because guys will naturally do what's comfortable to them. And so if you don't specify what type of cut you want, they'll just really lean on that. So again, here's just another one. I like putting this clip in here just to show you guys that I get these guys every now and then. I almost get 2.9 right here, but he does a good job keeping his balance. And then again, working that speed cut at the end. And as you notice, right, we're really trying to transition our upper body into that forward lean. Okay, we got this drill that we call the T drill here. And really, this is a drill, if you watch, we're really trying to not waste any footsteps here. And again, working that speed cut at the end, obviously while beating the crap out of them with the crayon, really emphasizing ball security. So again, working the speed cut off of our stability ball at the end there. Okay, just a couple things that we do for our jump cut stuff to practice. Okay, this is our ladder drill. And again, really working on, again, on our jump cuts, what we talk about a lot. So again, with speed cuts, we talked a lot about getting that forward lean. And a jump cut is no different. It's just where it happens. So now with the jump cut, the first emphasis is we've got to get lateral. We got to create a situation where we can get space on a defender. And then we want to work vertical. And as we work vertical, as you can see in this clip here, he's going to transition his weight forward. And then again, we'll just kind of get through a bag to work, again, emphasize pad level, and then work a jump cut with the reaction. And we can do a number of things for reaction. You've kind of seen we use bags, we use people, we use stability balls. But I think just creating a different surface for these guys to work off is really good. So here's another one of our just kind of bag progression drills. We call all these drills with kind of bags that I think almost everybody in the country does. We call that the bag progression. So we're working a jump cut at the beginning here. Okay, getting into it, doing a little weave through the bags this time. And then again, working another jump cut on the reaction. Okay, and then that third big thing that we talk about you can do when you have the football is a spin. So this drill here we call our snake drill. And again, notice how there's not a lot of wasted movement. Okay, we step over with the inside foot so we can plant off our outside foot to get lateral. Okay, getting through the bags again, and then again, working a spin move at the end of the drill. Okay, working another, again, kind of bag progression drill with a spin move to finish. Again, as you see here, we're working some shuffle gather footwork. We use this footwork for our gap scheme stuff. And again, for this particular drill, we're going to work a speed cut at the top, and then we're going to work a spin at the bottom. So again, working that speed cut, getting over the bags into a spin. And really the big point of emphasis when we talk about spin is we want to basically lower our shoulder as if we're going to run over the top of the defender. And then we're going to take our offhand and we really want to swing that elbow through so we can complete the spin. Okay, so that's kind of, those are just a few drills. And again, I know I'm not reinventing the wheel. I know there's probably other guys out there that do stuff that's similar. But just keep in mind, really the thought process, making sure that, hey, we specify what type of cut they're going to use. Because again, if you don't, and we do that sometimes too, I say, hey, this is freestyle, but guys will have the tendency to just use what they're comfortable with. And so I want to get these guys out of their comfort zone. Okay, so we are a big outside zone team here. And so we use a couple different drills. We call this the NFL drill. This is a drill that you could commonly see used at the combine. And again, we told them, hey, just freestyle here. So we're getting through the bags, okay, getting vertical back through the blue bags, and then work a reaction off of my manager, my guy Ben there. Ben's new manager, so he's learning a lot this spring. Okay, just another clip of it. Again, the big emphasis here is making it two distinct cuts. Cut to work the bag, and then a cut to get back to vertical in between our blue bags. Okay, we'll also use the gun version of it. And the beauty of this drill is that you really can use whatever footwork you want, because you can set this drill up at any aiming point. So we're, obviously setting it now for outside zone. Okay, and then as you see, the drill has progressed. So this is the progression 2 of it. Now we add a pad level aspect to it. So getting our pad level down, and then now reacting off an actual stability ball. Okay, so just a couple of clips of this, just kind of the drill to skill tie-in. Okay, really working that outside zone footwork, right? Back to vertical like we're through the bags. Okay, getting through like we're in the blue bags now. And then again, making a move off the safety at the, at the third level. Okay, another pretty good clip of it. Okay, this time just really working the outside portion of it. We get a bounce read here. And then again, trying to make a move on the safety. Now I'd love 8 to go ahead and make a move there. We're in tag tempo. Tell our guys all the time in tag tempo, we should be trying to make the safety miss every time. We can't run them over, so we got to make a miss somehow. Okay, so now we're getting into our outside zone cutback progression. So this is the first progression of outside zone cutback, where we essentially tell the guys, hey, this is design cutback. We are going to work on the actual cutback version. There's no read involved here. We're really thinking stretch and puncture. So really trying to attack our aiming point. Okay, those bags represent the heels of the O-line. And I don't always put the best clips on here because I want to be able to coach guys up. So really where number 8 is wrong here is he wants to make this cut on the line of scrimmage. Okay, see how he's making his cut about 3 yards deep here? We want to make this cut right at the line of scrimmage so we can hug that heel of the O-line and get back to vertical, and then again, make a safety miss at the top. Okay, another example of it again. Again, stretching this thing. And again, this is a new drill for these guys, so they weren't as good at it day one. As you notice, we don't have pads on. But they started getting a lot better as we start to work through the second progression. Okay, so this is the next progression of it. Now we add a pad level element. So again, we want to stretch this thing. And again, you can kind of notice he's a lot tighter to those bags the second time around. Still could press his aiming point a little bit better. Okay, would love to see him have a little bit better pad level through this. But again, working pad level and then working a move off of the safety. Okay, different guy, same drill. Much better representation of what we're looking for. Again, pressing that aiming point, cutting tight off the heels, getting back to vertical, and then finishing off the safety. And we do this at various distances. Okay, you know, our team that we're seeing plays a lot of quarters, and so those safeties in there fit pretty quickly. So we're reacting as if we're playing a quarters team. We could be playing a middle field close type team. So that safety may be coming from an inside out angle now. Okay, so again, we'll change the direction of where that safety comes from, but always keeping that in mind. Okay, so this is the third progression of this now. So now we're to work again, cutting off the heels of the O-line, getting vertical, working our pad level through contact, and now we have a ball security element. And I love this part of it. And the running backs coaches out there listening, this is the fun part, man. You get to punch the heck out of these guys. Okay, and then again, always working a move off of the safety. Okay, another really good example of it. This cat right here running the football was a third-team All-American, first-team All-Big Sky last year, has taken his talents to a Power 5 school now. So again, we really did a good job developing guys at Idaho. Okay, and again, here's this drill really in action. Okay, so we got a little wide zone going to the right. Okay, there's our cutback, getting back to vertical. Okay, making the second level defender miss. And then again, going one-on-one with the safety at the top of the play. Okay, drill to skill. It's got to show up on tape or we're not going to do it. Okay, another really good example. Okay, again, stretching that thing. Again, cutting off the heels of the O-line. See how tight he is to the O-line? That's what those bags represent. Getting back to vertical and then again, going one-on-one with the safety. So again, just a really clear example of that drill and how it relates to the skill on the field. So we've had the static version of this, but we also have a version where we're going to read it. So we can have it either a 1. So I will give the guys the signals and I'll say either 1. So that's just him. Or it could be 2, or it could be all 3, kind of representing like a bang read, a little bit more of a bang read, and then a true bend read where we're getting all the way back behind the center. Okay, so here's the version of it. We just get 1. Okay, would love for him to be a little bit tighter to the heels when he makes this cut. We're really emphasizing once he gets that cut, getting vertical, and then again, getting back outside to take on the safety. Okay, could get this version. Now this is almost a true bend read. And again, this is the first day we did this drill, so these guys got a lot better at it later. We would love to see him a little bit tighter to the heels. But again, the emphasis is getting vertical and then working your way back outside to your original aiming point. And then we could get the true bend read. Okay, now this is a little bit better job by number 8 right here, really working off the heels of the O-line. But again, getting back to vertical and then again, trying to get back to our aiming point. Okay, and then we'll progress the drill. Okay, so now we're going to add the safety and we're really working specifically on stiff arm. So this is like progression 2 of this drill. And notice again, so the second time around, that we got to do this drill, those guys were a lot more diligent in terms of where they're making those cuts. So he's back to vertical, and then again, getting back outside to his original aiming point. And then, we got to incorporate a little stiff arm in there. Okay, I got to get my calories in too, so, or burn my calories as well. So getting a little bit of work for myself as well. Okay, so now we get more of a bang type read. And again, working off the safety. Okay, and then we'll graduate. Once we get to the top where we feel really good about those, we'll work now. Again, we get to kind of a bang read here, getting back to vertical. Now he's through contact, but he's still got to make that safety miss because we are in our room, we're anticipating beating the linebacker level every time. And so we want to make sure that we're working great pad level. And then when we get to that third level, right, being able to make the safety miss. Get a little bit lazier rep right here by 5. But, it's a little bit different. Spring camp a little bit different than week 8 during the season. Actually, this is week 9. I take that back. Okay, so just a couple of clips just to see it. Okay, again, this is one of those bend reads where that thing's going to go all the way back now. And again, always finishing on a safety. Get as many reps as that as we possibly can. So when these guys get in these situations, they feel a lot better about it. Okay, so this is a really good example, right on the heel line. Then again, back outside, kind of saw that clip on the other one as well, but same version of it. Okay, really good clip of it here. Okay, because this one's really just like, the 1. If, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, the tight end being our 1, the tackle being our 2, and then the guard being our 3. This one just goes 1, and then again, immediately gets back outside to go work against the safety. Okay, big back right here, but same thing. Okay, really working the stretch portion of it, get to bang read. So again, vertical, back to outside, and then now we're working against secondary players. Okay, so again, really, really good examples of just how those outside zone drills translate. Now the inside zone stuff, there's going to be similar setup, okay? This first one, we call this the split decision drill. Okay, in our inside zone game, we really want to try to hit this thing as downhill as we can. So if we're running this out of gun, we want to be square when we get the football. When we run this out of pistol, we want to be square when we get the football. So here's a really good clip. We're square. Okay, you get to cut back read. Okay, again, back to vertical now. And now he's got to go make a move on the safety. Okay, same drill here. Get another cut back read. Making a move off the safety. Again, getting square through the mesh, cut back, vertical right now. And then again, the next progression, right? Now we're running through bags, and now we're running against the safety at that third level. Okay, this time we get a play side read. So this thing stays play side. And we change up the way we do the drill at the top end when we have the bags. Sometimes it's 2 guys. If it's 2 guys, we really want to just try to split the defense, get our pad level down. If it's 1 guy like this, we really want to try to run away from this defender by initiating contact with the near defender. So really trying to lower that shoulder into the near defender. And then again, making the safety miss. And specifically working spin move this particular day. Okay, so again, you'll kind of see it show up on tape. So again, when we get this football, we are square through the mesh. Okay. We make the split decision. We get a cutback read. Now we're getting through the bags. And again, working off the safety at the top. Okay, another really good picture of it. Okay, our alignment's a little bit tight here, but that's okay. Again, square through the mesh to give us that 2-way go, to give us that split decision. Okay, we get a cutback read. Back to vertical. Now, this is a really good picture of that vice tackle that we were working with the bags. We're trying to get through this vice tackle, okay, so we can go work one-on-one again with the safety. Okay, so now we get a front side read. But again, big key here, square through the mesh. Then we've got to react. Okay, and again, one-on-one with the safety. Makes a miss there. Okay, so again, some direct carryover. All right, so this drill now, this is the exact same setup as our outside zone progression, but obviously the drill is just a little bit different. The emphasis here, where the emphasis was to get vertical and get back outside, the emphasis on our inside zone cutback is to get vertical. We want to get vertical immediately. We want two distinct cuts, cut back, and then once we hug the heels of the O-line, we want to get back to vertical in a hurry. And then again, always, always, always working against the safety. Okay, so same drill, other direction now. Really good clip of this. The change of direction. Plant, plant. And again, always working a move. Okay, same deal now. We're just going at a pistol. Okay, this is the second level of this progression. Now we're working again that vice tackle through the second level. And now we got that down safety in quarters, right? He's right there. We got to go make a move right when we break the vice tackle. Okay, same deal, a little bit better pad level here. And again, making a move. Okay, and then we get the full progression of it. Okay, so again, really working square through the mesh, downhill path, cutting as tight as we can to the O-line's heels, getting through the traffic, trying my hardest to get the ball out of there. And again, always working on that third level player. Okay, another version of it as well. Pretty good rep here, much better job with his pad level. Zero's had an unbelievable camp. He's a transfer from Colorado, but has just been unbelievable for us throughout spring camp. Okay, here's a very direct version. So here's the pistol version, right? We get that cutback. Okay, really hugging the heels, back to vertical. Pretty good clip. Okay, so big 3-4. Not quite as fast as number 0, but again, same thought process. We're attacking that aiming point, hugging the heels of the O-line and tight end, getting back to vertical to go square up the safety. And then again, the next level of it, now we're going to read it. So now it won't always be the same. Okay, so now we're going ahead, again, very similar drill to the outside zone drill, but just the emphasis being a little bit different. Okay, would really love to see him after this third cut, after we get the bend read, sticking that left foot in the ground and getting vertical. Okay, pretty good rep of that right here. Really tight, right? As soon as he passes that last O-lineman, so to speak, sticking that left foot in the ground and getting vertical. Okay, then we'll graduate. So that was just getting the movement down. Now we're working it off of a defender at the third level. Pretty good awareness by 20 right there. He's a very good player for us at Idaho. And sometimes we get crazy with it and we'll throw it a million miles an hour. This is more like what we were talking about now. I'm like a middle field closed safety, right? Coming down, running that alley. And again, he's got to make me miss. Okay, and then again, we'll graduate to the third level of it now. So now we're making a read. We're getting back to vertical. This is poor pad level by 5 here. But again, I think in season week 9 drills look a little bit different than spring ball drills. Okay, and then again, just always working against the safety. We're playing a quarters team this week, so now that guy's a lot closer. And again, making that guy miss. A couple more reps of it as well. Vertical, and then working a spin this time. Okay, so a couple really good game clip type examples and really practice clips right now because we have not played any games yet at Oregon State in my time. But really good clip. Right now he's reading it, cutting back. Ooh, making the mic look silly. I think his jock might still be out there on the practice field. Okay, but then once we get in that secondary, really trying to work some moves. So I know number 0 breaks the tackle here, but he was disappointed because he felt like he should have made him miss completely. Okay, another really good clip, right? We get a little penetration on the front side. Again, hugging those heels really tightly. Okay, working to move at the second level and then trying to make the safety miss at the third level. So those are really our kind of go-to drills where we're, again, really focused on making sure that these drills translate. Now, these next drills are going to be more based off pass protection. And I know this is something when I talk to coaches across the country, they're always looking for different ideas on how to work pass pro. So the first thing we talk about in our pass pro fundamentals is we've got to take the air out. We feel like if we can get to the line of scrimmage, we just take away the space. And I tell my running backs all the time, it's kind of like when a defender really takes the air out, it's hard to make a move on him. Okay, it's the same thought process as a pass protector. We want to take away the space so he doesn't have any wiggle room to, give you some, hezzy, short, kind of shoulder action, all that good stuff, right? No space really equals no moves. Okay, so one drill that we do, so I got this from Joel Thomas, who's the longtime Saints running backs coach. He was an Idaho Vandal alum, really good friend of mine. He's now with the New York Giants. But he told me, hey, every spring or fall camp, when you talk pass protection, you should start with this drill. So really the emphasis in the drill is to take the air out. So we're going to do 3 actions in this drill. The first one is just taking the air out. Okay, we talk about having a slight outside foot stagger. Okay, a lot of O-line guys call this a high inside leg. Okay, but we want inside leverage on that inside number. Okay, with a slight outside stagger, and then we're just going to work a punch at the top. Nothing crazy, but we just want to, again, take the air out with proper leverage. Okay, then we'll do the same thing, take the air out, and now we're going to work against a speed rush. Now, against a speed rush, we use a technique called a drop step, which I'll talk a little bit more about. But again, just working a couple of quick punches. We talk about, hey, if they get within handshake distance, that's when we're punching. If they're further than that, and we've got great leverage, there's no need to punch. Okay, and we never leave our hands out. Notice how, as he punches, he's recoiling every time. Okay, and then we will get times where guys will try to work across your face. So again, we got great leverage, but he beats our leverage. Now we're going to try to work a punch, and if we can't get that full punch, we're going to get a wash to big arm. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit more and talk specifically about the technique of that here shortly. Okay, there's another drill we use. We just call this OTE, off the edge. Okay, working a cross key read now. So again, really the emphasis on taking that air out, keeping inside leverage. Okay, he does not have a high inside leg or a slight outside stagger as we talk about it, but he gets back to it on the punch. If you notice, right when he gets his punch, now all of a sudden he's got that high inside leg. Okay, and so this kid that we were watching on tape wasn't the heaviest kid. He probably finished the season around 175, and his pass protection skills were unbelievable. So here this is against Nevada, a game that we kind of got after him a little bit. Okay, but again, you can see taking all that air out and then working a punch at the top. Okay, the second thing we talk about in our room in terms of pass pro fundamentals is our punch timing. So 3 things we really work on. Number 1, we want to have tight hands. I tell the guys, hey, it's like you're driving a small steering wheel, right? You're driving a little mini car, a little go-kart or something like that. And we want to keep our hands really tight. And then we talked about this already, but we want to be ready to punch at handshake distance. And then we talk about keeping our head out of it, okay? Because if you lunge, you're going to lose. So we work a lot with medicine balls. Okay, so the first progression of this med ball drill is just our med ball sit and punch. So we're going to be in that seated position. Okay, I'm not sure what number 9 is doing here, but really focus on number 0 in this video clip. Okay, so we have that slight outside stagger, and we want to bring both feet and our hips. We talk about keeping our elbows attached to our hips. So right here, his elbows are shooting a little bit before his hips, but he's going to get a few more reps that are a little bit more what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Elbows attached to hips. Okay, so his elbows are shooting, his hands are shooting, he's got tight hands, and again, he's shooting his hips. Pretty good reps of those there by number 0. Don't watch the other guys. I don't know if the reps are as good. Okay, so we work that drill, and then we will progress. Okay, we'll work a little med ball toss drill now. So I want you to watch the guy in the near ground here, number 34, the guy that's closest to us. And again, when we finish on strike, again, watch his elbows are connected to his hips, shooting the hips as he shoots his elbows. And we always want to finish with our hands above our eyes on our punch. Okay, so again, really good job of working that hip explosion. I tell the guys, man, you guys do all these hang cleans, power cleans, all this stuff. This is what it's for in our position, for pass protection. Okay, so again, working that drill. And again, the partner here wants to toss that thing slightly above their eyes so that when it lands, it's right there on their chest. And again, they can finish with their hands above their eyes. Okay, so now, obviously, pass protection is not a static thing. So we also work on our shuffle and punch. So now we'll work a shuffle punch. Okay, so again, that slight outside stagger with his right foot. You can see it here, really bringing the hips with his elbows on that first punch. Doesn't get as many good reps here at the end here. But if you notice, he's also working his feet independently. He is not shuffling. Okay, if we shuffle, that means at some point, both feet are off the ground. And if you have no feet on the ground, you ain't got no power. Okay, so our last progression in our med ball stuff, we call this the med ball machine gun drill, where we're just pointing and the guy's got to react. Okay, this is a good rep of the punch. It's not a great rep of the feet. So I got a little bit better rep of the feet. So again, we talked about having that slight outside stagger. So we always want, for us, the way we teach this is we always want to step with our inside foot on our strike so we can recover against a speed rush. And we also have a high inside leg if they try to cross our face. If they try to cross our face at this point, they're going to have to work through my knee, and it also gives me a chance to recover. Okay, so this is a much better rep executing the technique correctly. Okay, the thing you'll have, if you use this drill, the thing you'll have to remind your guys is that we don't necessarily go in order 1, 2, 3, right? It can be anybody. So once you get punched, just be ready because your number could be called again. Okay, so again, we talked about 5, right? This was the end of the year. This is a playoff game against Southern Illinois. Okay, he's about a $175-ish right now. Lost a little bit of weight during the season. But again, he executes his technique really, really well. Okay, number 8's coming off the edge here. Again, that punch timing. He gets to handshake distance. Boom, right? His elbows are attached to his hips. You see his elbows are already shot through. That means his hips are locked out. Okay, and we're able to finish on the ground. Finish this guy on the ground. He gets physical as heck on this play. Okay, that guy was talking some noise to him, so he told me, Coach, I had to get him. Okay, here's another good clip of this. Okay, this is just a couple years ago in 2022. Okay, number 20 was another guy that was not very heavy. He was probably about 180 pounds, but he was very good in pass protection. Again, he executes the technique. So again, he's got that slight outside stagger. Good, right? That position is what we want. We're unlocking the elbows at the same time as the hips, and we're able to stone him at the line of scrimmage. Okay, it's not a great clip of our quarterback throwing it to the other team. Okay, last clip here. Again, working that punch. That timing is critical. Handshake distance, boom. Again, extending the hips as we extend the, as we shoot the elbows. Okay, and believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, they called this a catch. No complaints, we'll take it, but they call that a catch. Okay, some clips from the work we're doing here just to show you that it's not just the players, it's the technique. Okay, watching number 8 here. Okay, working against Mike Plug. And again, elbows attached to the hips. That's the position we want to be in when we make contact, where our hips are unlocked. Okay, so the next thing that we talk about in pass pro is working independent feet. We talked about that slight outside foot stagger. We want to use a drop step against the speed rush, and we want to use the wash big arm technique against a hard inside move. And then we also have our anchor technique that we'll teach when we get a guy that's working a speed move that turns into power. Okay, so this first one that we're working here to work independent feet is our mirror punch drill. Okay, I know this is not a reinvent the wheel type drill, but this is a really good drill to start out with so your guys can learn to maintain leverage, keep that stagger, and then again, we're working that drop step technique versus the outside rusher. Okay, another rep of it. Again, keeping that leverage, maintaining your leverage the whole time through. Once you blow that whistle, okay, you can release into whatever you want, whether that's speed rush, maybe you want him to cross his face, whatever you want. As you see, I'm coaching him up here. When we punch, we never want to leave our hands on. See how he's leaving his hands on there? We want to punch and recoil, man. We want to have the ability to create space, give you an opportunity to recover, and then punch again. Okay, and then we'll work our shuffle punch. Kind of similar to the med ball shuffle punch. Okay, but really maintaining that inside leverage and working a punch on every one. So again, 5 keeps showing up in the games. Very good in pass protection. Was not very good as a freshman. So number 20 played a lot in 22 on third down because he wasn't as good. But he was really a complete player last year. Okay, really good job watching, again, independent feet. He's feeling the speed rush. So again, he's going to drop step and then gets a good punch as well. Okay, same guy. Again, could do a little bit better job taking the air out here, but it looks like he's got a little bit of confusion with the pressure they're bringing. Montana does a hell of a job with their pressures out of the 3-3 stack. But again, working the independent feet to be able to react, change direction. Okay, we'd love for him to stay sticky there, but again, working that punch at the top after using independent feet. Okay, so again, more specifically on this drop step technique, I tell my guys, this is your chance to be a left tackle. Okay, so we have that slight outside stagger. Really, the 2 big coaching points is you want to push off of this inside foot while losing ground with your outside foot. As you see here, a pretty good example of it. Okay, would like him to be a little bit tighter with his hands here. And I don't want him to open as much. He can be a little bit more vertical. But again, really accentuating that first step is really what we're looking for against the drop step. Okay, another clip of another guy doing it. I think he does a little bit better job here staying square. But again, pushing off that inside foot, maintaining your leverage, and being ready to transition. If that guy gets hard up the field, you still have inside leverage. We teach him to take your inside hand on that inside hip to wash him by on a speed rush with a high rusher up the field. Okay, so just a kind of a clip of this to show. This is back in 2022. But again, we get a speed rusher. He's going to work that drop step. We'd like him to be a little bit cleaner. But again, inviting him up the field, taking that inside hand, trying to get it on the hip, and riding him right by. Really good effort at the end. Okay, now you're saying, well, coach, well, what happens if they beat you inside? That happens. Well, what I want you to notice here is we're going to start with that slight outside stagger. Okay, we feel him go inside. I'm going to plant off that outside foot now. Okay, I'm going to flip my hips, and I'm going to turn it into a big arm. This is the wash. So again, trying to get a punch still, trying to attack that inside number, get a punch. He fights across my face, flip my hips, and be strong with that outside arm to wash him by. Okay, another good clip. Again, this is a really good clip of the change of direction. This is really what we want out of the defender, to sell the outside move and then work across. That's much more realistic. But again, you'll see he's going to plant off that outside foot, right? And now he's transitioning his hips to work him lateral down the line of scrimmage. Okay, same drill here. Could do a little bit better job with his aiming point. But again, flipping the hips is the most important thing. Flip the hips because you don't have any power without them. Okay, really good game clip of it. This is against Cal this past year. We're up 17-0 on these guys at the beginning, but then they kind of wore on us. Pretty good football team. Okay, not a great punch. So he loses inside. That's okay. He has the tools to recover. He's going to now flip his hips and wash him right down the line of scrimmage. Okay, so really good clip of the drill to skill footwork there. Okay, another really good clip of it. Again, this is number 5. This is just his freshman year. Okay, not as good of a pass protection, but again, he has the skills in his toolbox to use them. So he gets beat inside. You notice right away, he flips his hips and he begins to wash him flat down the line. So again, showing the drill translating into the skill on the field. Okay, so now this is what we teach when we have to deal with the speed to power. So we call this our pressure wave drill. So always starting with taking the air out. Okay, once that guy gets to the line of scrimmage, the defender starts moving. Kind of looks like that mirror punch drill to start. And notice how he's not punching. He is not punching because that guy is not within handshake distance. If he gets to handshake distance, he throws a punch. Okay, and then he's going to convert from speed to power. And this is our anchor technique. We want him to drop their butt, okay, their anchor, and widen our feet. As that guy starts to give us pressure, we're going to fight pressure with pressure and drop our feet accordingly. Okay, so the way this drill is set up, we'll say set, go. These guys will work. Okay, blow the whistle. That turns into from speed to power. And then the next whistle stops the drill. Okay, another pretty good clip of it here. Taking away the air, again, working punch when he gets to handshake distance. And you can already tell, like, my guys are starting to get the hang of what we're teaching, right? He gets inside of him. He already starts to kind of work that wash to big arm with his hips. Okay, but not the drill we're working here. Okay, and again, really good clip of hands inside. And again, he needs to do a little bit better job of bringing his hips forward. He wants to shoot his hips forward so we can drop the anchor and again, widen as that guy continues to move. Okay, pretty good clip of it here. Okay, it's against Sac State back in 2022. Okay, number 20, not the heaviest guy, about 180. Number 10, he about 220. Okay, he kind of gives him a little bit of a move. Then he transitions to power. Now, I don't like his leverage here, but you can see the technique being executed. Okay, he's trying to work his hips forward and then dropping his anchor as that guy starts to bull rush him. Okay, now there's times where you got to cut, right? Guys coming at you full speed in the A gap, we're going to have to take them out. Okay, so we definitely coach this up as well. We try to keep the guys off the ground as much as we can. So we'll kind of go through the progression of it. So again, when we use a cut versus a hard bull rush, okay, number one thing, if you guys haven't figured it out, we're talking about taking the air out. We call it TAO for short. I think it's really important to have a bunch of like really easy, manageable verbal cues for your guys. So if a guy doesn't do a great job taking the air out, I'm not yelling, hey, take the air out. I'm just saying, hey, TAO, TAO. Okay, so again, taking that air out, we want to step on his toes and we want to throw it late. Okay, so we always start staying up. We call this our cut, stay up drill. So again, we're attacking it. And really how we teach our cut blocks, we want to take our inside shoulder and we want to put it on their outside leg. Okay, so we're really emphasizing this bag being the leg of a defensive lineman. Could be a defensive lineman, could be a linebacker blitzing. Either way, typically the linebackers and D linemen are going to be much heavier than us. So instead of trying to block, 230 pounds of a linebacker, let's just block his leg. That's about 25 pounds. Okay, so again, really the emphasis is taking the air out. Notice how he's keeping that inside out angle. Okay, throwing it late, and again, throwing that shoulder down to get that inside shoulder on his outside leg. Okay, another really good clip of it here. He does it so well, he knocks the bag down. But again, this is how late we want to throw this thing. And again, we're violent as we throw that arm through the pad. Okay, that pad represents their leg. Okay, and then, there's going to be times where, hey, we really need to work this. We always do this on full padded days, but we'll actually go through. So that was the cut stay up drill. This is the actual cut drill. Okay, love for him to throw it later. See how early he's throwing this? Now he's doing a great job of throwing that inside arm down, but he's just throwing it too early. Okay, this is a little bit better rep. Okay, see, notice how he's very close. He is stepping on his toes before he throws this cut. Okay, I didn't have a bunch of great clips of 5 doing it, but we repped it a ton, and here it is in action. So again, he's taking that inside shoulder, and his aiming point, again, is for that outside leg. Now, he does not get his outside leg, but because he has inside leverage, the only place the defender can go is around or over the top. And if you do a good job throwing it late, there's no chance for either. Okay, pretty good job getting him down on the ground. I'm fairly certain number 0 didn't rush hard the rest of the game. Okay, so another really good clip of it now versus a safety blitz coming off the edge here. And again, I think he could do a little bit better job taking the air out, but he does a really good job throwing it late. And again, taking that inside shoulder, working to his outside leg. He does not get the outside leg, but again, what he does do is provide a situation where he's got to go around or over the top. He can never go in that straight line to the quarterback. Okay, so really good job of him, again, shooting the hips, throwing it late, getting the guy on the ground. Okay, and then the last thing that we talk about with our pass protection stuff is chip blocks. Okay, this is something that I hadn't, and previously when I coached running backs at the beginning of my career, we did not really work on this very often. And the situations came up and the guys weren't ready. So 2 years ago, when I took over the running backs at Idaho, this was a point of emphasis. Okay, so the way we teach our chips, okay, we want to get our eyes on the outside shoulder of the guy that we could chip. And again, we want to take that inside shoulder to his outside shoulder. And as we chip, we want to stay vertical through the chip. Okay, so this is the drill setup. Okay, those two blue bags kind of represent O-linemen. Okay, we could get it to where, hey, this is the free edge rusher, right? This guy's hard up the field. And all we're trying to do with our chips is give the tackle a chance. We're not trying to over chip. I've seen a lot of guys where they'll turn their shoulders to chip, and then it just ruins the guy's pass set. And now the defender has an inside track to the quarterback. All we're trying to do is get vertical through that shoulder so we can get the tackle back on track with his set. We're not trying to push him here. We're just trying to deliver him to the tackle. And then we'll release on our route. This is a really good drill to work when you're trying to work a little pass pro and catching the football. Okay, we also do it against some stunts. Now, this isn't a great look by our defensive look guy. He should be tight. Any defensive coaches out there know, right? You're not going to loop way out here, right? You're going to come tight off that tackle. But again, this is a situation that we get quite a bit. Okay, so again, try and take that inside shoulder to their outside shoulder, getting vertical through it, and then releasing on your route. Okay, a couple good clips of it here. Okay, again, tackle's in pretty good shape, so we don't want to bump him off of his set. We just want to serve him back up. So again, he does a really good job getting that inside shoulder on the outside shoulder and trying to get vertical through it before he releases on his route. Okay, here's another really good clip. Now this is working against the stunt. So same thing that we got in practice. Working against a little ET stunt. And again, vertical through that outside shoulder. And all of a sudden, right, we got like a 295, 300-pound man on the ground because we've got good technique. Now we want our tackle to be a little bit more square through this so that when we chip, it's not like a unexpected thing. But again, working the drill. Okay, now the best part is when we get a chance to chip and catch the football. So again, this is against Nevada again, last year in 23 at Idaho. So really good opportunity. And we always tell our guys the best opportunities to chip are on routes where we have an outside release, routes where we have play action, and we can get a piece of someone on the action. So really good job by the back here, getting a great chip. And again, see how it just served him back up to the guard. Guard's in great position. Starts to lose a little bit inside, and we just let him regain the leverage. And so not only does he get a nice chip here, he catches the check down for an explosive. Last clip here for you guys. Okay, a little bit different game. Now we're working it off a blitzer. So again, 3 was really good at this for me last year. He was really good on third down in some situational football as well. But great chip here. Okay, maybe a little bit even too much here, but again, he's trying to work vertical through it. And there's another great opportunity to get a chip and then catch the football. Okay, really good picture of it here. Again, we want to be violent with those chips, man. Put physical stuff on tape. So that's what I got for you guys, man. Hopefully that you were able to take 1 or 2 things from this presentation and take it back to your school and really implement it. And again, the big focus for me is you're never going to see us do drills that don't show up on tape. And I've done that before where I've had a drill and I feel like it's a great drill. And then I'll watch film and I'll go, well, I don't really ever see that on tape. Well, that'll be the last time I do that drill. And I worked with Jimmy Lake, who's now the defensive coordinator with the Atlanta Falcons. I worked with him at Washington, and he was really big on that. He said, if I don't see it come up on tape, I don't want you doing it at Indy. And I really took that to heart and really have kind of molded my individual philosophy around that. So definitely my biggest advice, if you take nothing else from this presentation, make sure the drill shows up as a skill, because if it doesn't, you're just wasting time, and we can never mistake activities for achievement. we want to be developing guys and moving forward with what we're trying to develop in terms of our skills.
No doubt. Great stuff. Any questions while we're on here? And then what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is it Twitter or something like that to reach out?
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys my email address. That's probably the easiest way. So
Okay.
my email address is really easy. It's just Thomas, Thomas .Ford, Ford, at oregonstate.edu. So just go ahead and feel free. And again, I apologize for not having my DMs open. So if I don't follow you, you may not be able to DM me, but tag me. Say, hey, tag me on a tweet. Say, hey, coach, I listened to this presentation. Can you follow me back? And I promise I'll follow you back. And if DM is easier for you, please feel free to use that. And then we start building a relationship, man. I'll slide you my cell phone number. I am truly one of those coaches that really believe in helping anybody that needs to be helped. A lot of people helped me along the way. Kind of a little bit about my background before we get off the Zoom. I started out as a Division III coach. I played at the Division III level at Linfield University. A very successful program. We're 41-4 during my time there. I think we won national championship my senior season. So I started my career coaching there back in 07. Coached at Southeastern Oklahoma State, which is Division II, as it started out as a GA. And then I got hired on full time to coach receivers, started as the running backs coach, GA, and then graduated to receivers the next season. Spent a total of 3 seasons there. And then I got a chance to get back to the Northwest. A lot of people thought I was crazy for going from a Division II school in the Oklahoma, Texas area, going back to Washington to coach at a Division III. But I really did that so I could coach on defense. I had never coached on defense before during my career, and I thought that would be something that'd be invaluable if I ever wanted to be a head coach. And so after my time at Puget Sound, I actually did become a head coach at the high school level at Stadium High School. Beautiful school. If you've never seen it before, it's where they filmed 10 Things I Hate About You. It was an awesome experience. We were awful my first year there. We're 0-10, felt like 0 forever, but we built the program pretty quickly. By the 3rd year, we had made the playoffs for the first time in school history, had the first winning season since '93. And so after my 4th season there, I took on the head coaching job at Simon Fraser University, which was the only NCAA program outside the U.S. up there in Vancouver, BC. Rest in peace to the program. They stopped, discontinued the program, sadly, after the 2022 season. Excuse me, the 2022 season. And then after my time at Simon Fraser, I spent 2 years as an offensive analyst at the University of Washington, working with the tight ends and fullbacks. Great experience there. I'm from Seattle, so I got to, really coach for the hometown team. After my time there, I was the special teams coordinator, running backs coach at the University of Idaho, where we had a ton of success bringing the Vandals back to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And last year, making it to the quarterfinals, finishing, I think, 4th or 5th in the country, depending on who you ask. And then now, have the opportunity to be here with Trent Bray, our new head coach here at Oregon State. So again, I do want to help anyone that needs help along the way. I understand what it's like to coach at the Division III level, the high school level. And if you work hard enough and you improve your craft enough, the work that you put in will show. And that's why I'm able to be, in the position I am now, coaching running backs for the Beavs.
Coach, really appreciate that. And again, thank you for taking time here on a Friday afternoon. I love it.
Awesome, man. Well, Pat, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate all the stuff you guys do, highlighting coaches, helping coaches really, hone their craft in this game, man. It's one of those things you can never learn enough, and you guys are providing a great opportunity for all of us to learn, man. I know I check my updates every week, man, to see who's talking and try to get my football fix in weekly as well.